Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Doreen, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing different lessons or different values I think you should be applying in your 20s. I'm currently 22 and I know it's still the early 20s, but I feel like there's no better time to start living intentionally than now. And I know a lot of you that watch me are between ages 18 and 25, so that's the main reason why I'm doing this video. And of course, everything I'm going to be saying is going to be with Christ as the foundation, as I always say. So yeah, let's get right into the video. So the number one thing I think you should be taking note of and applying in your 20s is knowing that God is priority. I know that a lot of people like always say, I'm just going to wait till I'm 40, when I'm a grandma, then I'll talk about this God thing, or that's when I get serious about it. Right now I just want to live my life and enjoy it, blah blah blah. But I think there is no better time to start living for God than right now. As much as you are still young and you have your life ahead of you, at the same time life is short, okay? And nobody knows when everything ends. Nobody knows when their last day on earth will be, so I think one of the most important things that you should take into your 20s or you should live by is that God is priority, and you should start seeing God as more than a genie in a box or a genie in the sky that you just ask for things or talk about when you're feeling good, when you have some blessings. You just say, oh my God, I just want to thank God for what he has done. When you're feeling sad, you pray, but that's about it. Like you don't put God first in your life. I think the most important thing you can start doing for yourself now is living for God, living for the one that created you and gave you life, literally gave you life. And Jesus died again to give you his life, so he gave you life twice, in my opinion. He created you, gave you the first life, then he died for you on the cross, gave you another I'm just joking, but not joking at the same time. God has given you life, and I feel like you should live for the one that created you. Start walking in purpose early. Don't wait. You don't need to waste 15 years of your time. Then when you're 35, you now realize that all you've been doing for the past 15 years had nothing to do with what you were here for, or that's when you realize that you've made so many mistakes. There is no need to live your life full of mistakes and error. You can start early and you can start now. Make God your priority. Focus on building a relationship with him, because people always complain about how adulting is so hard. Adulting is this, adulting is that. I didn't prepare for this, I didn't prepare for that. I feel like the best way for you to navigate this adulting thing is with God. I really don't know how people do without God, but I feel like God should be number one in your life, okay? Another thing that I'm personally still consciously learning and trying to apply in my 20s is to stop living for others. If you're a chronic people pleaser, you grew up just conforming and pleasing people and putting people first before your own desires or your own opinions or anything, I think this is the time to start unlearning. You don't want to get to 30 and realize that all the decisions you made and everything you did in your 20s was based off on what somebody else thought, or what you think people will say, or what they will not say, or somebody's negative opinion of you. No, the only person you should be living for is God. Your decisions, your life choices should not be based off on people's opinions. You should live your life by God's standard, and you shouldn't let other people have such a hold on your life. I know that as a teenager growing up, I'm like I grew up being a people pleaser, okay? I just felt like I needed to fit into an idea of what people thought I should be, and I'm consciously unlearning that, okay? Since I discovered it about myself in 2020, I have grown so much, and now I try to make sure that everything I do is not exactly fueled by what I think people will say, what will they not say. So you want to study a particular course, but you're worried this course, what people say, or you want to start a business or learn a skill, and it's because it's not tech or whatever, you're like, no, I can't do. What will people think? I don't want people to think I'm this. Now this is the time to start living for yourself. And it also goes back to even your relationship with God. Don't hold yourself back from building a relationship with God simply because you think that people that knew you in your past life, what will people say? I used to be like this. What are people going to say if I start talking about this God thing? So if you're a people pleaser, or even if you're not a chronic people pleaser, or you just know that you tend to care too much about what the society thinks or societal standards, this is the time to start unlearning and consciously trying to live your life based upon God's standard and you and maybe a few more people that are important. Don't make life-changing decisions based off on what somebody else would think or what somebody else would say, because at the end of the day, people do not care. If there's one thing that I have learned since I turned like 20, 21, is that people ultimately don't care. People on the internet don't care. Yes, they might talk about you for 2 minutes, but as soon as they scroll past that post, that's it. Everybody goes back to their lives. Nobody's awake thinking about the hair you made or the dress you did not wear. Nobody cares. So you can't be making decisions or running into debt or trying to live a particular lifestyle simply because you're trying to please anyone. It's not worth it, okay? Another thing that I'm learning as I'm navigating my 20s is understanding that you don't have to be everything to everyone. This one is something that I actually learned recently last year. And if you're someone who is very empathetic, and when you have friends, you like to go all in, you like to carry their burdens, you like to know what's going on in your friend's life, you want to help, you want to be everything to everybody, you want to make sure that they are okay and everything. You need to understand that you don't have to be everything to everyone. Maybe as a teenager, you were that person that always wanted to be everybody's friend. You're just not comfortable with people not liking you or people not bringing you into their inner circle. You just wanted to be in everybody's inner circle. You wanted to be everybody's confidant. You wanted to be everybody's wise friend, strict friend, fun friend. See, it is not sustainable. The older you get, I think the more you should realize that you don't have to be everything to everyone. It is okay if there are some of your friends that there's just one thing that binds you guys together, and this is what you guys agree on. You don't have to carry everybody's burdens, okay? You don't have to carry everybody's burdens. It's okay to have few friends. It's okay if some people don't like you. It's okay if you're offering friendship to someone and they just don't want you to be in their circle. Like, you have to be content with the fact that I can't be everything to everyone. That's God's job. God is the person that's our father, our friend, our protector, our provider, our confidant, our everything. That's not you. So release that burden of trying to be everything to everyone, okay? It just drains you, all right? And it keeps you in that loop where you're always there for people, you're always trying to solve everybody's problem, but you're not taking care of yourself. And tied to this point, another thing that God has taught me is that He has other children, okay? If He doesn't use me, He will use somebody else. Because sometimes we get so full of ourselves and we feel like, if I'm not there for that, my friend, if I'm not there to advise her, if I'm not there to tell her what to do, she'll be stranded, she won't have anybody else. Who do you think you are? Like, it's not like I'm not saying you're not worth anything, but who do you think you are, really? You can, if you're not there, God is going to use someone else. And sometimes you not being there might not be on purpose. You might have your own issues too at the time, or be going through your own stuff, and you might not be able to feel that capacity. Release yourself from that burden of I have to do it. And that's why some of us will be breaking and still be carrying more burdens on ourselves. That's not your job, so just release it, okay? So yeah, one tip I've learned in my 20s is you can't be everything to everyone. Everybody cannot like you. You can't be in everybody's inner circle. You can't be in everybody's green circle. Close friends list, and that is absolutely fine. Just enjoy the ones that you have and try to be the best person in all your friendships, okay? Another thing that I feel like is important in navigating your 20s is embrace processes and preparation. People always say that Gen Z is the microwave generation, that we're the kind of people that we start something today and we want to see the results tomorrow. Like, we don't want to wait, we just want it to be instant. And see, guys, there's a process to everything. There's a level of preparation that you need to go through to reach where you want to get to, And it's just funny how we go to school for 4 years, 6 years, in some people's cases like mine, depending on the course you're studying. You don't get into year one and expect that after your first year, they give you a certificate that, oh my gosh, you're now a graduate, you're now an engineer, you're now a doctor, go forth and succeed. No matter how good you are in your first year, you still have a journey. You still have preparation to go through. You still have a process before you get there, okay? The same thing applies. But when it comes to like businesses or content creation like YouTube, Instagram, or anything, we just expect that after your first year you should be making millions by now. You should be Bill Gates. And it doesn't just work like that. I was reading a book or listening to something some time ago. I don't even remember if it was a book or a podcast, but the person was like, we always expect to start and be experts, but you start and then you get good. So it's okay if you start YouTube and you don't have everything put together and you don't have all your equipment and you're not the best at speaking and everything. You start and you get good. These days when I go back to my old YouTube videos, I just cringe because That was probably not me. What? But that's the beauty of growth and processes. You have a process to go through. There is a journey, and I know sometimes it might seem frustrating because there's some people that tend to have overnight success, and overnight success is not really overnight success because some of them have put in 4-5 years of work, but you only see the 2 minutes that they used to blow, and you not think, oh my god, this person just came from nowhere. Nobody comes from nowhere, fam. Nobody comes from nowhere. These people have been working, these people have been preparing. Am I saying that there's some people that just like step into something and become like blown? Yes, of course, there's some people once in a while, but you cannot base your life off like 1 or 2 exceptions. There's a principle, okay? You have to follow the journey and enjoy it, embrace it. That's what prepares you for the future, okay? It's the lessons you learn now, it's the lessons you learn, the mistakes you make while you're starting that business that will prepare you for when you get to Forbes, or when your company becomes a multi-million-dollar company, okay? You have to learn those lessons. So just embrace the preparation, embrace the processes. Don't stop doing what you're meant to do, or you know you're called to do, simply because it's not giving you instant results, okay? Stay in the process. I'm talking to myself as I'm talking to you. Stay in the process and enjoy it. Another important tip I think is relevant to navigating your 20s is living intentionally. Don't just take every day as it comes. Don't just go with the flow with everything. Don't just, nah, whatever happens happens. No, you have to be very intentional about how you manage your time, the habits you're building, the friends you're keeping, the relationships you're in, how you manage your money. You have to start. Now is the time to start taking note of these things and live intentionally. Don't just be it's okay to be spontaneous sometimes, but don't just be someone that everything just goes. You have no standards, you have no dreams, visions, nothing. You have no goals. You just do. You just step into some place and just start doing. You don't have an end goal. You're not conscious of the kind of lifestyle you're leading. I think now is the time to start making intentional decisions, living intentionally. See, the friends you're making now are the people that your children, if you plan to have children, are going to know as auntie this and uncle this in a few years time, or in a couple of years. So you have to be intentional about the friends you're keeping now. Are they really feeding into your life? You're no longer a child, okay? Yes, you're young, but you're really no longer a child. Start being intentional about the kind of friends you keep, the kind of people that feed your mind and your soul, the kind of things you watch, the kind of things you wear. Now is the time to start building standards in your life. You can't be the kind of person that everything goes with. Everybody can come into your life, do whatever they want and step back out. No, you have to build some standards, honey. With your habits, you can't be the kind of person that you don't even know how you spend your day. All you know is you wake up and your day just zooms by. Anything you feel like doing, you do. No, what's your goal? What are the things that you need to do now that would lead you to your goal? You know, you cannot just be an anyhow person. And like I always say, when you have a thriving relationship with God, it affects every other aspect of your life. It spreads, okay? Because if you're in a thriving relationship with God and you're built intimacy with your Father, He teaches you a lot of these things. He gives you the wisdom to go through life, okay? And you cannot, God is a very principled person. God is one person that gives us visions and dreams of what He'll have us do. And God knows that, okay, you cannot be wasting your time. So if you're building a relationship with God, you know that your time cannot be spent anyhow. Your time is precious. You know that your body is the temple of God, so you cannot just eat anything and do anyhow with it, or let anybody do anything to it. You know, there's some principles that you will learn just by virtue of intimacy with God. So like I always say, every single thing ties back to God. God is God is the most important part of our lives, and I feel like every other thing just stems from that love you have received. You now start to, you know, live your life like a child of God, like someone who is worthy, someone who is valuable. Valuable people do not waste their time. Valuable people have standards. Not everything goes. So yeah, now is the time to start living intentionally. The last tip I have on navigating your 20s is level up your knowledge base and think bigger. This one, I feel like it's a lifelong process. It never really stops. But now is the time to start getting like financial knowledge. You're not too young. Yes, you're young, but you're not too young to start learning about saving, investing, just financial principles, listening to experts talk about these things. Just be resourceful. Watch YouTube videos, listen to podcasts, read books. Okay, I'm not even saying limit yourself to what you learned in school. Now it's time to start widening your scope, okay? Because yes, you grew up in a particular environment, you were taught certain things, doesn't mean that that is all there is in the world. Don't keep yourself small and tiny in that little box that you were raised in, that little school that you were raised in. There's more to the world than that. Start watching people in other countries, other continents. How do they live their lives? Start watching the people you look up to. What do they do that makes them different? You know, start listening to other people's perspectives on different things. Start seeing that the world is bigger than your small school and your small house, okay? You need to start thinking bigger. You need to start being resourceful. You need to start leveling up your knowledge base. Now it's time to start learning about your body, your health. Don't wait till you're 50 when they say you have hypertension. You now start saying, oh, I was eating this and that. Now it's time to start being, like I said, intentional and learning about your diet. How do these things affect you, your health, your reproductive health, you know, how you can take care of your body, personal grooming, smelling nice, you know, things, some habits. This is the time to start dropping and unlearning certain things, just because you have seen that, okay, yes, I was raised with this thing, that I don't have to continue like that. Okay, now is the time to start to think bigger and level up your knowledge base. Okay guys, we've come to the end of the video. I really hope these tips were helpful. These are the things that I am living by in my 20s, or as I go through my 20s, and with time, if I have any more lessons or any more things I feel like will help, I will share. That's what this channel is about. We are supposed to grow and glow together with Christ as the foundation. Let me know if there are any more tips that I may not have mentioned but you think are important. Leave them in the comment section below. If you also agree with any of the things I have said, let me know in the comment section below. Share this video if you liked it. Give it a thumbs up. Let me know that you liked it, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.